Hello, Blue Ops, and welcome to another episode of Blue Team Academy. There's one sentence that ends more cybersecurity career transitions than any technical challenge, any certification exam, or any hiring bias in the industry. Ready? I want to move into cyber, but I can't afford to quit my current job. If that sentence has ever crossed your mind, this video is built for you because the standard advice you've been given, quit, bootcamp, grind, take a pay cut, hope it works, is wrong for anyone with real financial obligations. There is a better path. It runs through your current IT job, not around it. And over the next 13 minutes, we're going to walk it end to end. Let's start with numbers that hold up under scrutiny. The US Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that information security analyst roles will grow 29% between 2024 and 2034. That's roughly 10 times faster than the average across all occupations. In raw terms, 52,000 new positions added to the field over the decade, on top of about 16,000 openings every year from growth and replacement combined. Median wage sits at $124,910. Zoom out globally and it gets more striking. The 2024 ISC Square Cybersecurity Workforce Study puts the active cybersecurity workforce at roughly 5.5 million people worldwide, and the demand at more than 10 million. That's a shortage of nearly 4.7 million professionals. CyberSeek, the workforce data platform run by the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, tracks hundreds of thousands of unfilled US cybersecurity roles at any given moment. So the demand is not the bottleneck. The bottleneck is the industry's inability to move qualified IT people into cybersecurity roles without asking them to burn their careers down first. And that's the part that doesn't get said clearly enough. If you already work in IT, sysadmin, network engineer, help desk, cloud, DevOps, you are not starting from zero. You are one deliberate transition away from a defensive cybersecurity role. What you need isn't more courage. It's a plan that doesn't require you to become financially reckless to execute it. 5 steps, let's get into them. Step 1. Start doing security work from your current desk. You do not need the job title security analyst to begin. Cybersecurity is applied IT. The systems that need defending are the same systems you already touch every day. What changes is the lens you look at them through. 3 concrete examples. If you're on the help desk, the next time a phishing ticket lands in your queue, don't close it at password reset. That's the IT answer. The security answer is trace how the compromise happened. What was the lure? What was the delivery vector, email attachment, malicious link, credential harvesting page? Was the sender spoofed? Was there a lookalike domain involved? By the time you finish documenting that ticket, you've done incident triage. That's defensive cybersecurity work. If you're a sysadmin, take ownership of your patch cadence, not as a checkbox, but as a program. Know which vulnerabilities actually matter to your environment. Know which systems are exposed. Harden your Active Directory. Audit the service accounts nobody has touched in 3 years and enforce least privilege on the ones that don't need what they have. Congratulations, you're doing vulnerability management. If you're a network engineer, start reading your firewall logs like they're telling you something, because they are. Segment the flat networks. Everyone's been ignoring since 2018. Baseline what normal traffic looks like on your links now, so you'll know when it stops being normal later. That's network security monitoring. That's blue team work. Do this deliberately for 6 months, and two things happen. One, you build a portfolio of real defensive work you can point to in an interview. Not I studied for a certification, actual on production evidence of security thinking applied to real systems. Two, inside your own company, your name starts to come up in conversations you are not in. When a security role opens or a security project needs an IT resource, the people making that decision already know who the security minded person on the IT team is. That's the setup for step 4. Hold on to it. Step 2, give yourself a repeatable way to think about a security problem. Here's what almost nobody in this space is honest about. The reason most IT professionals stall on the transition, the real reason isn't skill. It isn't intelligence. It isn't effort. It's the absence of a decision framework. Without one, every security question is a fresh puzzle. Every ticket, every project, every architecture review starts from zero. That's exhausting. And it's why smart, capable people spend 2 years trying to break into cyber and never quite get there. At Blue Team Academy, we teach the threat and control method, 4 steps, in order every time. It works because it turns any environment, any technology, any incident into the same sequence of decisions. Step 1, inventory. Know what's in the environment before you try to defend it. What assets exist? Which ones matter to the business? What already protects them? In the real world, most incidents begin with something nobody knew was there. An unpatched server, a forgotten test environment, a cloud storage bucket somebody spun up in 2022 and never revisited. Inventory isn't glamorous. It's the ground everything else stands on. Step 2, threats. Once you know what you have, you need to understand what can realistically go wrong. Not a generic threat list downloaded from a blog. What can go wrong for this asset in this environment, given the adversaries who actually target organizations like yours? Ransomware operators, insider risk, business email compromise crews, they don't care about you equally. The threats step tells you where the risk actually lives. Step 3, controls. Now you pick the right defenses for the right risks, and you produce a security plan you can defend to a business owner. Not, we should have more security. A specific, prioritized, justified plan of action. Step 4, scale. This is the step that separates a security-minded IT person from a security professional. It's the ability to take the same reasoning and apply it to systems you've never touched before. New cloud provider, new tech stack, new business unit acquired last quarter. Same method, same discipline, different context. That's the shape, the prioritization criteria for each step, the templates, the worked examples, those live inside the Blue Team Academy program. Because how you decide is what actually gets you hired. The point right now is simpler than the framework. You don't need permission to start running your current tickets through inventory, threats, controls, scale. You just need to start doing it. Today. Next ticket. Step 3. Build a study routine you can actually sustain. Transitioning while employed does not require 40 hours a week. It requires 5 to 10 hours a week of consistent, focused work, protected on your calendar the same way you'd protect a meeting with your manager. Not when I have time. When you have time is never. 3 priorities to organize that time around. Priority 1, skill over certification. Certifications open doors. They don't make you dangerous on day one. Prioritize hands-on labs, breach analysis, and actual defensive work over cramming for a multiple choice exam. The cert is a checkbox. The skill is what makes you the offer. Priority 2, build a home lab. Spin up a couple of virtual machines, deploy a SIEM, Splunk Free works, Elastic works, generate some attack traffic against your own environment, then defend against it. Write detection rules, tune them, break them, fix them. When you can walk into an interview and say, I built this environment, I ingested these log sources, I wrote these detections, and here's the malicious behavior I caught. That outperforms almost anything else on a resume. Priority 3, study breaches that map to the systems you already run. This is where your IT background compounds. If you manage Windows infrastructure, study NotPetya. Study the Kaseya supply chain attack. If you run cloud, study Capital One. If you live on the network, study SolarWinds. Learning defense in the context of systems you already understand deeply moves faster than any generic study path. One warning: do not sacrifice sleep, do not sacrifice family time, do not sacrifice the current job that's paying for this entire transition. Burnout is the single most common reason transitions fail, not lack of talent, not lack of resources. People try to compress 18 months of work into 3 weeks. They crash, and they quit the whole plan. Consistency beats intensity, every time. Step 4. Look inside your own company first. Here's a truth most external career advice misses. For someone already in IT, the shortest path into cybersecurity usually runs through the company you already work for. Think about the position you are in. Your employer already trusts you. They've watched you handle incidents, ship projects, hit deadlines under pressure. That trust took years to build, and it doesn't transfer to an external application. Now flip it around. Think about what you know about the environment. You already understand the network topology. You know which systems are business critical and which are legacy technical debt everyone's afraid to touch. You understand the politics, whose approval is required to change what. You know the real risk profile of the organization, not the sanitized version on the compliance report. An external hire needs 6 months to build all of that. You have it on day one. So here's the play. After a few months of running your work through the threat and control method with actual artifacts to show for it, a hardened Active Directory environment, a documented phishing analysis process, a segmented network, whatever it is, book time with your SEESO, your security manager or your IT director. Do not pitch a job. That's the mistake almost everyone makes. It puts them on the defensive, and it puts you in the awkward position of asking for something they may not have. Instead, ask what the security team is short on right now. What are they struggling to staff? What projects are backed up? Then aim your after-hours learning at that gap. Come back in 3 months with evidence you've started to close part of it. When a junior SOC analyst role, an IAM engineer role, or a vulnerability management role opens up, you are no longer a candidate. You are the obvious hire. Step 5. Make your security thinking visible outside your company. When you can't lean on a job title to prove security skill, you have to demonstrate it. A small public portfolio does more work than most people realize. 3 things worth doing. 1. Write up your home lab, what you built, what you learned, what you'd change. A single well-written blog post or LinkedIn article can outperform a resume because it shows how you think, not just what you've done. 2. Publish scripts on GitHub. Automate a defensive task, log parsing, detection tuning, evidence collection, alert enrichment. Nothing has to be revolutionary. It just has to be real, working code that solves a real security problem. 3. Do a technical breakdown of a real breach. Pick an incident. Explain what happened, what controls would have caught it earlier, and how you would have investigated it. This one signal alone tells a hiring manager almost everything they need to know about how you think under a security lens. A hiring manager reading systems administrator on your resume, then finding a GitHub repository full of detection engineering and a blog post dissecting last year's major ransomware campaign. They are not looking at a career changer. They are looking at a security professional whose job title has not caught up yet. So let's pull this together. Transitioning from IT to cybersecurity does not require you to quit your job, blow up your income, or start over from zero. That advice was never appropriate for people with real obligations, and it isn't now. The path is 5 steps. Reframe your current role as unpaid security experience. Apply a real decision framework, inventory, threats, controls, scale to the work already crossing your desk. Study consistently 5 to 10 hours a week without burning out. Position yourself internally with evidence in hand and show your work publicly. Cybersecurity is not rocket science. The barrier for someone with a strong IT background is direction and framework, not capability. If you want the path delivered every week, real breach analysis, defensive techniques, and career moves written specifically for IT professionals making this jump, subscribe to Keep IT Safe. Link in the description. And when you're ready to make this transition deliberate with the templates, the prioritization criteria, and the full threat and control method walkthroughs we couldn't fit into 13 minutes, the Blue Team Academy program is built for exactly that. Link in the description. Follow Blue Team Academy for more, and don't forget to subscribe.